are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
The Finger Lakes Castle team is in its 7th decade of factory direct service to the service professional. From cleaning the ins and outs of your vehicle to keeping you on the road, Castle's got you covered. Castle makes streak-proof glass cleaner, FDA-registered sanitizers, and EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectants. Remember, when you need to keep it clean, use what the pros use. Castle. Accept no substitutes.
Castle keeps it clean.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
Guys, it's Tim O'Connor on A Free Solution, live on WYSL and WACK. And I am bringing you some news today, guys, just released from his conviction, Bill Cosby. Guys, congratulations to Bill, I guess. If you guys want to call in, the number right there is 866-552-1009. And let's just give you a little background. I read an article today from the New York Times about Bill Cosby's release. More than 50 women accused him of improper sexual assault, horrible things, drugging them for, drugging them and taking advantage of them sexually. So most of the cases were in fact unprosecutable. And the question becomes, guys, at some point, when you take a look at what happened here, the court's decision overturned the first major criminal conviction of the Me Too era, which came soon after allegations of sexual assault had been made against a powerful Hollywood producer, Harvey Weinstein. The accusations and eventual conviction of Mr. Cosby stunned the nation, painting a disturbing portrait suggesting that a man who had brightened America's living rooms as a beloved father figure had been a sexual predator. Guys, that's an obvious problem. I think that the issue is when we take a look at the legal system, Bill Cosby, at no point do we know whether he did this or he didn't do it, but the fact is that he was convicted, and he has now been released basically on what we would call a technicality, right? And so how does this all play into everything? Middle-class America has very limited resources to access what we would call the legal system, whereas Bill Cosby has unlimited access to the legal system. So when we take a look at the reasons why he got out, at some point he had admitted or discussed with a prosecutor that the things I'm about to say are not convictable offenses. I'm going to offer you information about my behavior, blah, 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 blah. It's called the non-prosecution agreement, and it's sort of like a plea bargain. And so basically, he sidewinded, side played the whole system. He spent 3 years in jail and now has been released on his own recognizance. I find that stuff to be unfortunate. I find that stuff to be sad. I don't know. When I take a look at these situations and how it plays into our mainstream psyche and stuff like that, it's it's very disappointing. I think that Bill Cosby probably has been proven to be completely sexually inappropriate, and now he's going to be walking the streets again, and that is incredibly disappointing. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to call in, again, the number 866 552 1009. 866 552 1009. Excuse me, guys. All right, I think that the audio is getting itself straightened out. And once again, guys, I appreciate you all hanging in there with me and bearing with me on this situation as I work through this newfound technology, this moment of time where I have this opportunity to reach out to a large group of people and have conversations on a daily basis. Um, it is been and it will continue to be an incredible opportunity for me, and hopefully, as I grow more comfortable moving forward, I think we'll get to where we enjoy all of this stuff. Um, in another piece of news, moving on from the Joe Biden, or excuse me, moving on from the Bill Cosby controversy. And if you have any questions or comments about that, please feel free to put them in. But I think that what we're seeing is, again, I want to emphasize the fact that money is what buys access to our legal system. And that to me seems very disappointing. Again, over 50 women accused Bill Cosby of this. Most of the cases of accusation that were legitimate accusations, totally illegal behavior, most of them were outside of what's called the prosecutable time
Ken
frame.
Williams.
Okay? Ken Williams. All right, yeah, hey, guys, it's Tim. Ken Williams is joining me. What do you got, Ken?
Well, I just wanted to call in and say thank you. This is a real public service that you're doing. I appreciate it.
Well, Ken, I think that you calling in is also a public service, because the bottom line is occasionally, as you can see, I get a little bit lost in the technology here, and I get lost in this notion that I have to have like every single thing to say perfectly all the time. So, Ken, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life, a little bit about our shared group of friends, things like that. I think that would be great to share with this group of folks.
What I find at the forefront right now is I am glad to see that people have discovered the Constitution. I am glad to see that they're reading it to the school board. I'm glad to see that they're reading the 1980 Supreme Court decision to a school board that you, for me, you will listen to me, not censor me. I'm glad to see all of these things happen. Glad to see a document that's been buried come to protect our country. It's came life to protect our, and this critical race theory, I think, is nothing child abuse, propaganda, and indoctrination. But we are having a resurgence of people, instead of saying, well, somebody else will take care of that, they've discovered, excuse me, they've discovered that nobody else is going to take care of it. That to be free, you've got to take care of your own life. You've got to protect your own children. You got to protect your own community. And you have to read 3 documents that set you free. And you don't answer to anybody. This is your country. You have title. You have the deed. You own it. And you are the boss. And I'm just
so, Ken, let me ask you this. I'm going to throw a curveball at you, okay?
Go ahead.
The Constitution simply delineates rights that we as individuals already have. The fact that the Constitution, and this is just a curveball, so bear with me, all right? The fact that the Constitution delineated those rights gave our government the tool to actually abridge those rights. What do you think about that?
Absolutely not. If we are diligent, and if we litigate, what people don't understand is politically correct will not stand up in court. Politically correct is the bastardization and the lie of converting the English language and inverting it. Right now, a Christian white man who is a family man who works 2 jobs so that he can go to church and donate to the community is evil.
So what you're
You don't
talking
have
about there,
to-
let me,
you-
and again, let me jump in. You're talking about what we're looking at in society, and we're saying a certain segment of population seems to be under attack, and you're calling it right now the white Christian male. But when we're talking to Black Lives Matter activists, they're saying that the Black Lives Matter people living in cities in densely populated urban areas are also under similar assault, and we all are begging the government to pay attention to us. How do you
Well-
come up with a resolution for that? Just out of curiosity, what's your theory there?
The universal assault is that the political class thinks that we work for them and they're the boss. And we've allowed them to keep eroding and chipping away. There's an 1803 decision of the Supreme Court that said no law that is unconstitutional is enforceable.
Yeah, and so let me
Everybody
jump
has
in
been-
again, and I don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize, but the issue there, guys, how do we, without money, without unlimited funds, without lawyers just at our beck and call, how do we access the judicial system to say this law particularly affects me and is therefore unconstitutional? And I'm telling you right now, when we look at the red flag laws in New York State, it's practically impossible. So Ken, I didn't mean to totally ruin your vibe there, but what do you, how do we
No.
handle that? How do we litigate those situations?
What is wrong with America is the silent majority of Christians has been turning the other cheek, and it got hit with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
If man does not stand for his own rights, they disappear. We keep electing politicians like Biden, that's been there for 49 years, never passed the bill, never done anything right, been on the wrong side of history, and you keep electing these people because they give you free stuff. Free stuff only costs your soul, your spirit, your checking account, and your children's future. The only thing that's free is slavery. But everybody says, oh, they're going to give me some free stuff. When America's public stops being a vegetable and starts being responsible for their own life and says, I have to change this, I can't elect anybody to change it, we'll get our country back. But that means you got to get off the couch, set down your beer, quit worrying about the rectangles, and communicate and participate in government.
So let's just go about some of the things that you covered there. Okay, I think that people are active, but where we're missing the situation, where the problem comes in, is that we cannot agree on solutions. And so your solution is, let's go back to the founding documents and let's live by those documents. And how do we get there when the battle is no longer about the founding documents, right? Where we have people that are sold on oppression. You're talking about people that are begging the government for free stuff. And sometimes I think when we get into that, and Ken, I just want you to bear with me here, when we get into that style of conversation, what we in fact do is we lose a piece of the whole group of people that recognize that government may in fact be the problem. So how do we fix that piece of it? How do we reach out to this next generation? How do we discuss the Constitution with them? How do we inform them of their natural rights? How do we try to make it clear to them that in fact the law does not necessarily work for them unless they have a lot of money? How do we handle that? You got a solution? And I know it's kind of tricky and a little bit unfair, right?
No, nothing's unfair. There, if you want fair, get a job, take $5 to the county fair and buy yourself some cotton candy. Life is not fair.
Well done.
There is no such thing as fair. I have seen more hardship, more adversity, more bad luck, more trauma, more operations, more surgery, and more hell than most people I talk to all day long. But you know what? I'm too stupid to quit. I
You
won't
get
quit.
up and you get
And the
back
only
to battle
person on earth-
every single day of the week, right? Is that the idea?
There is one
So-
person on earth that can make you a loser. It's not a politician. It's not a teacher. It's not a parent. It's not the police, and it's not politics. The only person on this planet that can make you a loser is you.
So you're saying that there's the law of infinite potential, right? You just get up, you go to work, you're going to find automatic success. That's where you're going for.
I'm going to say this, and it's not politically correct. The minute you quit, you turn to shit.
Okay, yeah. The only thing is we're actually live on the radio, guys. So when it comes to swearing, if you want to be on the show, and again, Ken, this is with all due respect to you. You know, you and I are friends. We've known each other for a long time. But you gotta watch your language, guys. Period. That's an absolute fact. That's the way it's got to be. Guys, we're coming up on a break. Ken, what do you got for closing thoughts here? What else? Anything else you want to share with this entire audience, the audience of WYSL and the WACK?
If you want to be free, it's your responsibility. Quit blaming somebody else for your loss of your life, your government, and your rights. If you don't stand up, you better shut up. You're a slave.
Guys, libertarians think that taxation is theft, that the property and income taxes in our country are way too high, that we think that there's other ways to fund our systems of governance, and guys, that we could fund them on a much lower level. And again, another shout out. Thank you, Ken, for joining me today. Thank you all for out there in the Facebook audience, the likes, the comments, the shares. And if anybody else wants to call in after the break, I am here for you, but I've got a stack of stuff that I promised to work on. And guys, thank you all. This is a free solution. Tim O'Connor for Liberty.
Yeah, please give any and all guests that you arrange a heads up, not any profanity. We could get a severe fine. We're talking like $10,000.
All right, so thanks again for joining. Appreciate you.
Now it's Dan Bongino, weekday afternoons.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for today. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will stay in the 70s, so a little cooler out there. Still a touch of humidity, but not as bad as it's been. There'll be a couple of chances for a shower or two, maybe a rumble of thunder this afternoon, but a lot of dry time today. We're not expecting any of those big storms. Tonight, some partial clearing, then Friday, more clouds, maybe a shower in the 70s. I'm Rich Caniglia, WYSL.
At Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Anthony Drive off Route 96 in Victor, savings are warming up just like the weather. Like the 21 Jeep Gladiator Crew Cab 4x4 pickup, $279 a month for 42 months. A 21 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 is just $229 a month for 36 months. Employer's existing Grand Cherokee lease and be returning lessee. The 2020 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4 is only $199 a month for 36 months. Must be Conquest or returning lessee. The 21 Ram 1500 Classic Warlock Quad Cab 4x4 pickup is just $189 a month for 36 months. Must be Conquest or returning lessee. Use 3 Ram coupons while supply lasts. Jeep, America's iconic four-wheel drive brand. $2,500 cash or trade and other conditions apply. Get full details from the dealer, equipment, and MSRP vary by model. We're here to fully serve Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Get out of the house and get that new ride you've been wanting. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 6560 Anthony Drive in Victor.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Some heroes fight fires. Some heroes fight crimes. Some heroes fight bullies.
Some heroes can't see. Some heroes can't walk. Some heroes can't speak.
Some heroes need helmets. Some heroes have handcuffs. Some heroes wear prosthetics.
Some heroes climb ladders, some heroes have sirens, and some heroes have IEPs.
Some heroes get medals. Some heroes get hurt. All heroes have courage.
Who is your hero? Together, let's celebrate our heroes on Saturday, July 24th from 9 to 1 at Challenger Miracle Field of Greater Rochester, 1000 Ridge Road in Webster, New York, right next to Town Hall. Festivities include baseball games, food trucks, a dunk tank, carnival games, police vehicles, fire truck, a mounted patrol, a visit from Spikes, and much more. Bring a hero, meet a hero, be a hero. To learn more about Miracle Field, go to rochestermiraclefield.org.
What does it mean to bank locally with Tompkins? It means keeping your money in your community with a team of neighbors to guide you through big decisions and milestones, plus all the convenience of our mobile app where you can manage your account, deposit checks remotely, send money to family and friends, even turn your card off if it gets misplaced, then back on when you find it. Ready to bank locally with the team at Tompkins? Visit Tompkins Bank of Castile online or at a branch to get started. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's Nicole.
And Nick.
From Colby's Ice Cream and Bake Shop in Rush. Nick, did you hear Colby's is now offering Nat's Nuts?
Nat's Nuts? Are those the ones that are locally roasted in Fairport, New York?
That's right. My favorite are the maple bourbon almonds.
I love those. Those are the best nuts I've ever had. Mine is vanilla rum cashew.
Take a drive out to Colby's in Rush.
Corner of Route 251 and 15 or Exit 11, 390 South.
Colby's.
Eat in, pig out.
As a mom, I look for things to do with my kids that won't break the bank. The parade, all the rides, attractions, and music at Lima's Crossroads Festival are free, and that is smart spending. It's July 28th through August 1st. The full schedule is at Lima.
Okay, we have Larry Sharp on the line.
On July 3rd at 7 o'clock on the
And I know he'll keep it clean.
Israel, Palestine, the conflict continues. Should the U.S. be backing either of these? A libertarian approach. That's 7 o'clock in the Liberty Show with Kevin Fortune.
A free solution.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the new and improved free solution. Now with 20 to 28% more. Tim O'Connor. First of all, we're live on WYSL and WACK. I guess I have some people calling in. I was going to circle back around to the Bill Cosby thing, but I guess Larry Sharp might want to have a conversation with us. Let's bring him up. Larry, are you out there?
Hey, how are you, my friend?
I am wonderful, man. Thank you for the help trying to get this whole technological situation straightened out. I don't think I failed miserably, but I may not have gotten it perfect either. How are you?
You are amazing, Tim. I'm so happy that you are here. I love this. I want to go right to your Cosby thing, though. I mean, we can't free Britney, but we can free Cosby. What's going on, man?
Isn't this a problem, right? Isn't that something that we have to look at as a society? This guy obviously, by any kind of preponderance of evidence, committed some heinous acts, right? So he made an agreement. My friend Will Phillips kind of helps clarify the situation here. He made an agreement with a prosecutor in a civil trial that certain statements couldn't be used. This was then in turn used by his lawyer to invalidate his prosecution in a criminal trial. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the problem that I always have with this stuff, right, is that there was enough to put him away. Like, why'd the prosecutor have to decide that he or she had to use extra stuff? He was going to go away. It just drives me crazy that I feel like, and I could be wrong on this, but I feel like the prosecutor went too far and paid the price for it.
Don't we always see sort of prosecutorial overreach that ends up costing them? I think we could go back to the OJ trial, right? And take a look at when Christopher Darden wanted OJ to try on those gloves in front of everybody. And then they made a show out of that. They absolutely destroyed their own case. They made themselves look incompetent. And that's the issue that we face in society. One of the issues we get into grandstanding and we get chasing fame and trying to acquire fame, and prosecutors and lawyers trying to, And it ends with this: a guy who obviously did some horrible stuff, walking free.
Yeah, but the bigger problem in my view is you only get to take advantage of that if you got cash, right? If you've got enough money to drop seven figures on your defense, like OJ, like Cosby, when the prosecutor oversteps, you can take advantage of it. But you're some guy like me or you, we get caught. We don't have enough money to drop seven figures, on a case. So the prosecutor oversteps and we just go to jail.
Yeah, we hit that wormhole, right? Where we make enough money to pay our bills, but we make too much money to get a court-appointed lawyer. Like, you don't have access to the judicial system. There's too many laws. It just gets clogged up with nonsense. And here you are. I think you're making a great point. Millions and millions of dollars were spent on these trials, on the OJ trial and on the Cosby trial, because these guys had unlimited assets. And here we are saying some of these laws in New York State are incredibly horrible. But if they try to prosecute me with them, what I will do is make a plea agreement, because I have to get back to life. I have to get back. I have to. So where do we take this? Where do we head with this stuff?
I used to joke, and I would tell people, you know what I think? We should have all of our laws written in Russian. And people would say, Russian? What are you, crazy? Our laws written in Russian. Well, then I can't read them. Well, you can't read them now. There's no difference, right? You got to hire a lawyer to read your laws, and instead you'll hire some Russian speaker to read your laws. There's no difference. And I say that obviously as a joke, because to your point, there are so many laws and so much out there. There's no way we could handle it, right? It's crazy. How could we handle it? So we're at a point where if you go back to, and this is gonna sound a bit odd, but if you go back a couple years ago, guy running for office, the Godfather pizza guy, he was running for office, and he said, I want to make sure there's no laws more than 3 pages long. Now, I'm not saying we should go 3 pages, but the concept is a good concept. Simplifying laws, smaller, shorter laws, more readable, would help us all. But our laws are, 5,500 pages long. It's crazy. So I think simple laws would help tremendously, and laws that are only with victims, not as just don't do what I don't want you to do.
Yeah, there are a lot of laws that are simply designed to control other people's behavior, that stimulate the aid of your neighbor if you don't put away your lawnmower at the right time of day. As libertarians, I think we've had enough of that. I think we can sell this concept, Larry. What do you think? We got to talk to people and explain to them. Stop getting angry at your neighbor. Stop wishing for a law to get written. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a whole lot easier if you talk to your neighbor than try to get the cops on them. It's a whole lot easier.
I got a great story about my neighbors, man. One is a Trump fan, one is a Biden fan, and they both want me to be mad at each other because I'm the guy in the middle. So the Trump fan's like, "Oh, you're conservative," and excuse me, let's do that backwards. The Trump fan is like, "Oh, you're kind of liberal. I don't even think you know what you're talking about." And the Biden fan is like, "Oh, you're a big Trump supporter," and I'm like, honestly, I got you both. And don't try to make me mad about his impeach Biden sign, and don't try to make me mad about his pro-Biden agenda sign. And none of that matters to me. Those things are artificial divisions put into place to keep us fighting. Let's solve real problems in all of our own local communities. Can we just do that?
I am with you so much, my friend. Well, look, Tim, I'm going to let you run this show. I'm going to go off and do my thing. You are doing a great job. So glad you're here. Have a great one, brother.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. Hey, hang on. Don't go away. Are you going to run for governor? He doesn't want to answer that question right now. You don't have to answer that question. I know I put you on the spot there.
I'll announce in the summer.
Okay. August? I mean, it's
Maybe
summer.
August,
June 22nd just went by.
Yes.
I know I'll put you on the spot, brother. Thank you very much for being here. Your help the other day trying to get me technologically straightened out, it was very beneficial, even though I kind of botched it a little bit earlier in the day. But you are a true speaker for the voice of liberty, the freedom movement, the solutions to problems that the government creates. Thank you for everything you do, guys. You can check out Larry here on Tuesdays at noon. You can check out Larry practically every night of the week, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock on the Sharp Way Show. There's ways that we can change, that we can make impact, that we can consume alternative media and have better conversations. Thanks again, Larry. I much appreciate it.
Have a good one, brother.
All right, you too. All right, guys. One of the things that I did want to explore today, and let's again thank Larry for calling in. But the Black Lives Matter movement, the leaders of that met with Biden officials, and this is a dateline from CNBC. Brian Schwartz. It was posted yesterday, and they're disappointed so far with the results of what's going on. And I think as libertarians, a lot of conservatives and some liberals realize that when we are simply competing for votes and stuff like that, what happens is a government makes promises to us that they do not ever intend on keeping. They were going to change the whole dynamic. The Biden administration gave the Black Lives Matter people, they gave them the impression that they were going to change the entire system of policing. Their leaders from the Black Lives Matter met with White House officials earlier this year to discuss our policy agenda. While we appreciate the chance to talk with them, we are surprised by their lack of progress on issues that matter to Black people. And guys, I'm not the Black person expert. I apologize. I'm not trying to come off as the Black rights, Black matter kind of expert, but I think that this illustrates in our society a specific problem. All right, and so that's why I want to talk about it. The meeting and its aftermath indicate that Black Lives Matter and the Biden team are headed for a standoff. I don't know that they're headed for a standoff, but what the Black Lives Matter system situation, what they're trying to ask for is a better style of community policing. And you guys can watch Larry when he talks about it. You can check out some of my other shows when we talk about community policing and serving our communities. And we've seen violence done by police. We've seen violence done by people. And we've seen people basically in the middle of mental anguish and mental breakdowns that when we view those situations, when we take a look at things, I got to imagine myself as a human being that there would be a better way to handle some of those situations. I think in Rochester, a 9-year-old girl got tased. Okay. I mean, that's a real problem. We have people in the midst of an emotional, mental problem and they end up getting injured. I know that compliance is important when it comes to police officers because I don't want police officers getting injured. I don't always have exactly the perfect solution, but we're working on free solutions. Let's see if we got some comments over here. Let's see. Will Phillips, once again, if laws were written in Russian, at least we wouldn't be under the impression that we understand the law. That is another good point, right? We talk like there's a law against that. That's illegal. We're going to take people to court. And I don't know. None of that ends up coming to fruition. Is the Biden fan afraid you'll get nuked? All right. I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about. Oh, yeah. I did bring up to the Biden fan, like, what's changed? What's made your situation better? Why should I support Biden? And I mentioned that we're still dropping bombs in the Middle East and still injuring people and still running an imperialistic regime to ensure the free flow of oil from foreign countries. And I'm anti-war, you know that. All right, guys, we're heading to another break. This is a free solution live on WYSL and WACK down in Newark.
I would not say down in Newark. Newark is kind of across from Rochester. But hey, turn off whatever notifications you're getting on your laptop.
Why do businesses choose to move their
You're getting like a ding. I don't know if it's a new notification from Facebook. See if you have a way to mute that.
Detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients.
Oh, that's your phone text? Yeah, turn your phone down. Rule number 1 in radio, mute your phone.
Best interest in mind when building or updating your website, they're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
All right, guys, welcome back to A Free Solution. New and improved with 20 to 28% more. Tim O'Connor. Guys, we want to thank our sponsor this half hour, Virtue Sauce, available exclusively at Tim O'Connor for Liberty. And guys, it's a completely made up product, but I'm going to be expanding on it. If you have been able to bear with me for this long, thank you all. I apologize again for the technical glitches. I apologize again for my certain amount of ineptitude with the technological aspect of this, and a certain amount of ineptitude of being truly and incredibly very nervous right up until I'm done with this show, and even then for a few minutes afterwards. So guys, as I grow into this, I hope you will bear with me. I hope you will continue sharing your comments and your thoughts. Shout out to Larry Sharp for calling in. A shout out to my buddy Ken Williams, a constitutionalist. I think that there's room for us to all come to these agreements. All right. So guys, when we look at the politics of division, guys, and that's what I was going to with this whole Biden thing, okay? This whole like Black Lives Matter going to Biden and saying, you guys haven't met your obligations to us yet. And Biden saying, we're going to like refund the police and fund them more. And we're going to do like, that's this politics of division. When we divide ourselves into micro groups, and you want to be a constitutionalist and you want to be a Black Lives Matter human being, and all of those things, guys, I'm totally okay with. They all make sense to me. They all work for me. You want to be a Christian, you want to be a Christian baker who doesn't want to bake a cake for that. Guys, this is where we get ourselves divided. And this is how the government continues to grow its size, its scope, and its manipulations of us. They write laws that don't make any sense, especially in New York State, guys. It happens all the time. And now we're going to kind of transfer into one of my favorite subjects. There's news is breaking about Andrew Cuomo, everybody, as you may or may not know, the governor of New York State. And I want to say things like the incompetent governor of New York State, the malicious governor of New York State. But some people are going to be offended if they hear that. But I think that we can make the case that this guy is an authoritarian who governs in a way. Guys, they gave him your legislator, the people that you elected to represent you, granted him an enormous amount of power to deal with the COVID restrictions. That should have been done in such a way that it was re-examined constantly, okay? That every 3 weeks we re-examine, the whole legislature gets together and examines his decisions. That's what we pay them for it. And then sunsets that executive order power, or has to reinvigorate. Like they have to take a proactive act to reinstitute the executive powers. Now, that's not what happened. He last week just dismissed and said, all right, the executive order situation is over. I don't even know what that means. We're going to have to see what how the legislature interprets that. But the breaking news on Andrew Cuomo, guys, the New York Assembly panel is finally, guys, about to start issuing subpoenas in the Cuomo impeachment inquiry. The Senate Assembly Judiciary Committee, Charles Levine, a Democrat from the 13th district, which is basically encompasses a small chunk of Long Island. The assembly districts are broken up by population. So basically one assembly district has the same amount of people as the next assembly district. So anyways, he's the head of the Assembly Judiciary Committee, and he is about to start issuing subpoenas in, guys, the sexual allegations, sexual harassment allegations. Let me just explain something again, as we've talked about this whole show, our lack of access to an actual judicial system that does provide checks and balances. At any point, guys, the assembly, when they promised to impeach or discuss impeachment, could have started issuing subpoenas. They could have started interviewing people on the floor of the House. They didn't need to do, we saw it happen on the national level with Donald Trump. They do not need to drag this out forever. They could have started the impeachment process and done the investigations concurrently at the same time, not drag out this whole issue of issuing subpoenas. And guys, let me just tell you that is a trick to decide to maintain political power against Andrew Cuomo, or in fact, to also enhance his political power. Either way, they're not providing a real system of checks and balances on Andrew Cuomo's power. I think that as like New Yorkers, we probably already all realized that. Anyway, again, this is where the virtue sauce comes into play, man. Slather yourself up with virtue sauce, write laws that don't make any sense, don't actually do your job of impeaching Governor Andrew Cuomo, and then act like you did something important, okay? That's how it goes. Also in breaking news, and guys, this news is completely unrelated, okay? 100% is the next news article. It's completely unrelated to the fact that they started issuing subpoenas to investigate Andrew Cuomo. A majority of New Yorkers say Cuomo should not run for re-election. All right. This is a Siena College poll, guys. 39% of voters believe Cuomo should finish out his current term and not seek re-election, while 23% more, guys, want him to resign immediately. So look, you could put me in the 23% more category. You probably all understand that. But when you add those two things together, you get 61% of New Yorkers want this guy to not run again, which brings up some interesting situations in New York, interesting dynamics. Like if he doesn't run again, who is going to run to replace him? Letitia James? Perhaps. I mean, maybe she'd be a good candidate. Law and order Democrats are interesting to me. They don't bother me as much as social justice Democrats, let's just say. And guys, I have lots of problems with the Republican Party, and I'm going to say this. This is going to be an interesting piece, and we're going to explore this more down the road. I think that the Democratic Party itself is technically less power hungry and corrupt than the Republican operative parties in New York State. When we look all over New York State, the Republican committees, the chair people of the Republican committees, and this is all over New York State, guys. I know of at least 5 that people have told me about, okay? At least 5. The Republican chairperson of a county has what's called a consulting firm. Now, just think for a second what that consulting firm what business that consulting firm would be involved in. All right. Obviously, guys, it's in getting people elected. So the first thing that the Republican county chairperson does is interview your bank account to see if you're going to be a good candidate to be a Republican. Now, some of the other things that I like the concept of smaller government, because that, in fact, the government, in fact, legislating virtue against each other is a real problem. So we can solve a lot of real problems with actual less government. Sometimes
2 minutes.
less zoning. What's that?
2 minutes
I
left.
had a message in my ear and I'm missing it. I apologize, Bob.
2 minutes left.
Technical glitch going on here. So 61% of New Yorkers don't want Andrew Cuomo to run for governor again, which is interesting. So how's that going to play out into the investigation? That should be, yeah, Derek Gibson, guys. I was hoping to have a conversation with Derek Gibson on this call, but I imagine he's a busy on this show today. But I imagine he's a busy guy, and I'm responding to some Facebook comments. And again, guys, bear with me on this technological kind of. I'll learn to be a better performer as we move forward. He's here in the. Okay, so the issue that we have is I sent him a phone number for him to call in. I would love to talk to him. We're basically running out of time today. We can do
1 minute left.
Segment. All right, we're up against 1 minute. I got to finish this bit about Andrew Cuomo. Okay, guys. In it, I want to read a statement by Andrew Cuomo's Rich Azzopardi, and this is about this will detail back into the investigation. Today's Siena poll is surprisingly positive, and guys, he said 61% of New Yorkers don't want Andrew Cuomo to run again. But as the political spin doctors always say, we can find a way to put a good spin on this. Richard Azzopardo, Cuomo's top senior advisor, says today's Siena poll is surprisingly positive because New Yorkers have only heard one side of the story and haven't yet heard the truth. When they hear the true story and the political games people are playing, it will be much different. Also, it's remarkable that only 13% of Democrats said the governor should resign, even though virtually all Democrat politicians have called for it. Clearly, Democrats believe the governor more than.
You're off the air. You talk too long.
Summer weather at Victor Chevrolet.
Well, that's not good. That's not good. We got to talk. Turn off your Facebook Live.
Seeing in fresh air in your 2021